Hey everybody, I'm Allie, and this is part 2 of the YNR chat vlog for Sunday, December 5th, and I wanted to start out by telling you guys I have a confession to make, and it's very difficult for me to say this, especially publicly, but here's the thing. I am a sex addict. Whoa! I mean, that was the last thing that I was expecting Jack to say. I mean, wow. Talk about moment of the week. The look in his face. I mean, it was so great too because it was the end of, I think, Thursday's show and the beginning of Friday's show. So we actually got to hear him say it twice. I am a sex addict. It was absolutely hilarious. That was my favorite moment of the week. I was thinking of you all, thinking, like, I could hear all of your jaws dropping collectively around the world as Jack said that. You know, I think it's interesting that this is the lie that Jack chose to tell in order to cover up the bigger lie. It just tells me, I think that Jack does not truly care about Sharon and his marriage. To tell your wife something like that, I mean, he's lying about lying now. It's just getting to the point that it's absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, don't get me wrong, because this is not an I hate Jack thing. I really actually do like Jack. I just think he can't help himself. I mean, his number one loyalty is and always has been to himself, which makes his definition of love somewhat different than Sharon's, different than mine, maybe different than yours. I mean, love to me would mean putting Sharon's feelings and needs on the same level as his own. And I don't think that that's something that Jack has done. I mean, his need for control, his need for revenge for Victor is right now and probably will always trump any feelings that he has in a relationship or for his family or for his father or anyone else for that matter. You know, I thought this week there was a really wonderful confrontation between Nikki and Jack. Jack was waiting for the whole Jabot takeover thing to come out. Nikki was kind of hanging around at the club, and they had a couple of words. And Nikki made some kind of statement to imply that she was through with Victor. She was done caring about him. And Jack says to her, "Oh, you cut the mustache loose finally." And Nikki said, "Yes, I did. You know, you should try it sometime. You've been doing your dance with Victor almost as long as I have." And I thought that was a really wonderful little moment, a little jab, and just, you know, kind of a thoughtful little moment there, and very, very telling of what the truth is, that Victor and Jack have been doing their dance for quite a long time. It's become all-consuming, especially for Jack, and unfortunately, it is part of what is going to lead to the end of his marriage. So let's talk about Phyllis's plan, her grand scheme. Now, Phyllis and this plan was totally entertaining, totally. But really at the heart of it, she's no better than Jack and what he's doing to, you know, the lies that he's telling to keep his marriage together. Phyllis is really, really no better. She should just confront Nick with the infidelity, because in fact, that is what it was. Nick was not faithful to Phyllis in this instance. And so she should just confront him about it instead of scheming to try to ruin Sharon's marriage and setting her up with Brad. You know, again, that would be boring TV, but, you know, I guess in reality the right thing to do would just be to confront Nick, in my opinion. You know, I think that it would have been a better plan for Phyllis if she would have just tried to keep Jack and Sharon together instead of trying to break them apart. That's kind of what I don't completely understand. Because it doesn't matter how many times Brad is there to break Sharon's fall. Sharon doesn't want to be with Brad. She wants to be with Nick. And if Sharon isn't able to get a hold of Nick on the cell phone tonight, she's just gonna call him in the morning, and there's no scheme, there's no plan that Phyllis is gonna be able to come up with in order to stop that. Now, I don't think that Sharon is blameless here by any means. I don't see Sharon as just this victim. She participated in the kiss with Nick. She wants it as much as Nick did. I think it's ridiculous that Sharon runs to Nick every time she has a problem with Jack. She needs a good girlfriend is what she needs. But the thing is, Sharon, Nick is not your husband. And when you're leaning on him this way, it's not because he's a friend. You're leaning on him because you want that attention from the man. From the man. And in fact, I think that's part of Sharon's behavior. That's part of her pattern. Whenever she does have a problem in her current relationship, she always has another man to run to, whether it's been Brad or Nick or, you know, and many times it was Victor. And it's part of her pattern. And I don't think it's right. But at the same time, there's a part of me, it's a twinge, and don't kill me, please don't kill me, but there's a part of me that thinks that a Sharon and Nick reunion could be kind of interesting. I know, I can't even believe I'm saying it because I like Phyllis and Nick so much and it's so hard to choose. I like Nick with Phyllis and I like Nick with Sharon, so I'm completely torn. But I have to admit that in the hotel scene with Nick and Phyllis, something was missing. It was like the fire wasn't there anymore for both of them, like on both sides. I felt like Phyllis was so preoccupied with her little scam to keep her husband that she wasn't focused on the things that would have actually helped her to keep him, such as trying to make a genuine connection. And then on the other hand, you know, Phyllis is looking totally sexy in her little negligee, or it was barely even a negligee, and Nick is looking at her and there's just something in his eyes, there was something in his enthusiasm that just wasn't there. I mean, I'm curious to know if you guys saw it, but I felt like there was something off in his looks. There was something off in his kisses. There was just something about him, like you could tell that his mind really wasn't there. So I'm curious to know if you guys kind of got that impression too. So feel free to post your text comments, video responses. It's a very hot topic, I'm sure, right now, and there are people on both sides of the fence. I'm kind of in the middle right now. I'm walking the line, but please do post your comments. As always, I enjoy reading them. Okay, so this is going to be the end of part 2 of the vlog, but again, lots more to say, and I'm going to be posting a part 3 to follow this, so please be sure to check back and see me then. Thanks!